The following is a Shaw TV sports presentation.
Looking live at Bedford Road Collegiate in Saskatoon as it is the 50th installment of the Bedford Road Invitational Basketball Tournament. I'm Simon Hyatt. This is Scott Ferguson. Thank you for joining me, Ferg. We've got some bonus Brit coverage coming your way this year, folks. It's the 50th year. Why not? Let's do an extra game. So thank you for joining us on this Friday afternoon as we've got an all-Saskatoon matchup on the B side of the draw. It will be the host team, the Bedford Road Redhawks, taking on the St. Joseph Guardians. Two Saskatoon teams going head-to-head. Complete coverage coming your way this afternoon on Shaw TV. Of course, don't forget, coming up on Saturday, we got wall-to-wall Brit coverage. We've got the cheerleading competition coming your way at noon tomorrow. And then, of course, the third place final and the championship final tomorrow night here on Shaw TV. It is the 50th year of the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament. So much history being talked about this weekend, Scott. Your feelings as vice principal here at Bedford Road, briefly, your thoughts. 50 years of Brit, this has become such an institution in Saskatoon.
It's really amazing. It's been buoyed by a group of really dedicated individuals, students and staff at Bedford Road, and really strongly supported by the community in the city, for sure. Last night we saw a long lineup of our special guests, the basketball royalty in Saskatoon, and it was really awesome to see at that opening ceremony.
Absolutely. So much going on this weekend in association with the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament. And you talk about local legends, the people that made this happen from the beginning. There's no name more closely associated with the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament than that of Kelly Bowers. I had a chance to chat with Kelly just a couple of days ago leading up to the tournament. Happy to be joined by yet another of the legends associated with the Bedford Road Invitational Basketball Tournament, my friend, Mr. Kelly Bowers. Kelly, first of all, what's going on with your pants? Tell me a little bit about these.
Well, this is Brit 50th, so I thought I'd kind of brighten it up a little bit around here. There's not enough red in Bedford Road. Just kidding. These pants were very stylish in their day, Simon, from about 1973 till about 1977.
Wow.
These were the Bedford Road senior boys basketball warm-up pants. And believe me, they were flashy. I managed to find a pair somewhere along the line. They're a little snug, but they still fit. But they were pretty popular in their day.
So not everything was bell bottoms in the 70s, despite what we may be led to believe.
These are supposed to be bell bottoms, but the way they fit me. But anyway, yeah, these were the Bedford warm-up pants for a number of years, yes.
They are absolutely beautiful. One of the great relics of 50 years of basketball here at Bedford Road Collegiate. And Kelly, I mean, you've been involved essentially since the beginning here, year in and year out. Talk a little bit about this tradition and what it means to you to hit this 50th anniversary and all the celebrations that are going to be going along with it.
Well, certainly the 50 years have just flown by. I remember reffing in the very first Brit. I was in second year university, and doesn't seem like it was that long ago. And then, of course, I started teaching here in 1974. That just seems like just a couple of years ago. And, of course, it just became so contagious to be part of Brit, to work with so many great staff, so many great students over so many years. And the commitment and the energy that people feel around Brit I think it is a very unique feeling. You talk about the spirit of Bedford Road. I think it's probably best exemplified by the Brit, and this year is probably going to come to the forefront. 50 years, and the tournament was great when it started, and it hasn't dropped an inch since then. It's still a fantastic event. All you have to do is look around this great gym and realize how many people have contributed to make this such a great event.
And one of the great tributes that's being paid this year, actually to yourself and that officiating legacy that you have. You're actually going to be officiating the third place game, you and Butch Stepanchev. There are no bigger names in officiating in Saskatchewan basketball history than Kelly Bowers and Butch Stepanchev. You guys are actually going to be doing the third place game. What does that mean to you? And I know you've got a special accessory to go along with that. Do you want to model those?
Well, for so many years of reffing, people have always said, Bowers, you got to get glasses. So I went and got some real thick ones this year. So when Butch and I reffed that third place game, to kind of celebrate our 50 years of reffing in Brit, I'm wearing these glasses, and Butch is going to bring out a walker. So it should be exciting. I think that's a nice look.
Look at that.
Wearing these. Hopefully we won't miss too many calls. And we've been reffing for so long that the word on the street is that when we make one call right, we're going to quit. We still haven't made that call yet. But hopefully if we make it in the third place game on Saturday night, if we make that one call right and everybody's happy, we might give up officiating. It's been a long time coming. I've enjoyed reffing. Butch, of course, has reffed internationally, very involved with Basketball Canada, World events, and wheelchair basketball as well. So it'll be a treat to ref with Butch, who is really the leader of basketball officiating in Saskatchewan.
Awesome. Well, Kelly, I want to wish you good luck in that third place game. I know you don't need it. I know you don't need those glasses. You guys are going to do a great job, but congratulations on this amazing legacy of officiating and also just with Brit itself.
Well, thank you very much, and thanks to Shaw for your fantastic support over the years. And it's folks like you that just keep the Brit tradition going, and we look forward to a great weekend. Thank you.
Back live at Bedford Road Collegiate, just moments away from tip-off in this 12:30 game. Bonus Brit coverage coming your way on Shaw TV. Simon Hyatt, Scott Ferguson, happy to be with you on a Friday afternoon, bringing you an all-Saskatoon matchup between the Bedford Road Redhawks, the home team, and of course the St. Joseph Guardians. As a welcome in Scott Ferguson. You know, it's interesting when you talk about this matchup, Ferg. Bedford Road, I was pretty impressed with their effort. It was a losing effort yesterday. They lost 78-42 to St. Francis out of Edmonton, but I felt like they played them pretty well, especially in the first half. St. Francis pulled away in the second. So if I'm Bedford, I'm coming into this game feeling not too bad about things. On the other side of things, really tough loss last night for St. Joe's.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Watching both games yesterday, first of all with Bedford Road, we've got a really scrappy group of players, and we've got some boys that can flat out play. The tournament brings in the teams in Canada that we can get, and basically, we're going to be in tough. St. Joe's is a really strong team. Their game against Garden City was a great game to watch, back and forth, and unfortunately they didn't quite get it done.
Yeah, it was a great game yesterday against a very undermanned Garden City team. Pretty much rode their starters the entire game until they got into foul trouble late, but only really 5 players played yesterday for Garden City, and they were able to hang on for that victory, 73-66, the final over St. Joe's, which sends St. Joe's into this game on the B side of the draw here on Friday afternoon. St. Joe's out of Saskatoon wearing the dark uniforms. This is Bedford Road, the host team of the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament, of course, wearing the gray uniforms with the red trim. First shot, Gage Dick puts it up. St. Joe's coming in the other direction. This is Alan Spoonhunter, really exciting young player wearing number 3 for St. Joe's. Now into the hands of Mason Durham. Durham looking to drive. He'll draw contact on his way through. Looks like he'll be shooting a pair.
That's a tough foul on Mohammed. He's one of the stronger players on the team, one of the offensive leaders, and a strong defender. So early fouls for him are tough for Bedford.
First point of the game does come from the free throw line. Mason Durham heading there, as Scott mentioned. Foul going on Mohamed Salah of Bedford Road. Second free throw off the mark. Second chance, however, for St. Joseph's. That one won't drop for Sam Marshall.
Rebounding is going to be a really important part of this game. If you look at both squads, they're quite a bit smaller than other teams in the tournament at this point. Bedford Road lost their, St. Joe's lost their big man to an ankle injury yesterday. So it's going to be really important that some people that aren't necessarily used to rebounding get on the boards.
Long shot off the mark for Salah. St. Joe's will head in the other direction. Alan Spoonhunter for three.
They can't leave him open. There are a number of players on this Joe's team that can shoot the ball and can't afford to leave them open for very long.
So 4-0 early going. Bedford still looking for their first points. That shot well off the mark for Dane McMurtry. So another chance on the run. White off the mark. So we're going to have the shot waved off the offensive foul. Marshall called for it. Marshall got into foul trouble in yesterday's game against Garden City. You mentioned the loss of Daniel Okpoko, the big man for St. Joe's, hurting his ankle in yesterday's game. He did come back and play in that game when Marshall got into foul trouble replacing him, but on the B side of the draw, don't know how much we'll see Okpoko today.
Well, judging from the fact that he's only wearing one shoe, I suspect that perhaps it's going to be a limited amount of floor time.
That is some quality color commentary stuff. Good observation over there. I didn't even notice that. Spoonhunter from the corner for three.
Yeah, St. Joe's is a great team. Marion Graham, St. Joe's, Holy Cross, the Saskatoon representatives distinguished themselves in our play-in games.
Right.
I'd put them up against anyone in this tournament.
First points of the afternoon coming from the hands of Dane McMurtry. Cut the deficit to 5 for the Redhawks, then losing it on the other direction. Another chance here, perhaps. Fortunately, unable to find the mark was McMurtry, so back will come St. Joe's. Long pass. Don't know if Spoonhunter was the intended recipient there. He's the one who gets a hand on it. However, it's Mason Durham with the basket for St. Joe's.
Joe's going to push the ball every chance they get. They're going to try to score off the fast break, and if it's not there, they will pull it out and look for those good shooting opportunities.
Alex Andres, interesting young player from Bedford Road. We were talking about him a little bit yesterday as we were sitting and watching the game together as Andres heads to the free throw line. 5'8", grade 11 guard. A versatile young man.
He is versatile for sure. He was part of the Bedford Road presentation of Beauty and the Beast. He played Gaston, the villain, and did a wonderful job. Some great comedic timing.
Awesome.
And a quick first step.
What more can you ask for? That's a true renaissance man. Andres goes 1 for 2 on the trip to the free throw line. Again, St. Joe's on the run, making it happen. McGuire Schwitzer's first points of the afternoon as he gets it to drop. Nice little move underneath, scoops it up and under. Spans the lead up to 8 for St. Joe's here in the early going. Foul against the Guardians. This one's going to go against Mason Durham, his first, team's first. Pardon me, team's third. Math was never my strong point. Quick take here, that one just a little bit long for Dane McMurtry. Guardians have numbers in the other direction. Campbell on the run. That one no good. Pardon me, it was Marshall on the run. Now Sala a little bit out of control, but able to keep it together enough to get it to scoop in. His first points.
The Bedford boys aren't afraid to run. I don't know if that's the game they want to get into with St. Joe's, but they can certainly move when the time comes.
Mason Durham off the mark from the corner, so another chance for those Bedford boys to chip away at the deficit. Andres will pick up the dribble. This is Sala now. Murtry gets into trouble, able to keep it alive, however, and then getting it to drop. Logan Neudorf, his first points.
Logan Neudorf, grade 11 inside player, tough kid, he fights hard in there.
Durham up top, now looking towards the corner. Good job by Spoonhunter to keep it alive. He takes it in, gets it to drop. Chance at a three-point play. Great little move there. Spoon Hunter keeps it alive and then drives, gets it to go.
Yeah, St. Joe's is really opportunistic. They'll be looking to get to the rim as often as they can, and they're quick, draw some fouls on our Bedford Road defenders.
First substitution of the game for St. Joe's as Spoon Hunter looks to complete the three-point play. He's unable to do so. Michael Akintunde going to check into the game. He'll replace Sam Marshall. Nice touch from outside. Dane McMurtry for three.
Red Hawk quarterback, two-sport athlete.
This is Akintunde. Mentioned he's just fresh into the game. Now Spoon Hunter going to put up the quick shot from well outside. That one a little bit off the mark. Battle for the loose ball will stay with St. Joe's out of bounds. 3:21 to go, first quarter of action. Simon Hyatt, Scott Ferguson with you from the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament. 50th edition of the Brit. Exciting ball tipped into the backcourt. Won't go as a backcourt violation. However, maybe just a little bit of panic there for Keegan White as he heaved it forward.
Yeah, good pressure from the Red Hawks, forcing a poor play.
St. Joe's got off to a quick start in this one. However, Bedford can tie it for a three. It looked like Andres considered that momentarily. Now this is Reichel looking to drive. He can't get it to go. Quinton Reichel. Now Durham looking to drive. He goes down and will draw the foul.
Foul on Newdorf. The Bedford Road inside players need to economize those fouls just because we get pretty short pretty quickly if the inside players take those early fouls.
Timeout called by the Bedford Road Redhawks. They're down 3, 2:54 to go, first quarter. On the B side of the draw this afternoon, enjoying a little bit of afternoon basketball here on Shaw TV. 50th installment of the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament. Scott, you talked a little bit about the ceremonies last night, opening ceremonies. What a great event that was. I was lucky enough to be a part of it out there on center court, but how great was it to see those four guys, the guys that started this whole thing half a century ago. 4 of the 6 guys that kicked this thing off were able to be here and be a part of it, and man, that was pretty cool.
It was pretty cool, and I don't know if they knew what they were starting at that point in time, but certainly it's turned into one of the premier tournaments in Canada. I know that they're very proud of that. And someone like Kelly Bowers, who was featured at the start, has certainly taken on the role of making sure that this tournament remains in the spotlight as one of the premier in Canada.
Coming out of the Bedford Road timeout, they're down by 3, 2:54 to go. First quarter of action. I see a good contingent of Bedford Road students here, Scott Ferguson. That's good to see as well. Are you a little bit to give them a little bit of leeway on attending classes when the Redhawks are on the floor during Brit time?
Well, as the vice principal, I'm here with you. So, when Brit happens, certainly the school focus for a day or two moves to the basketball, and we've got some really amazing and dedicated students at the school. I would put our team's averages up against anyone, to be honest.
Right.
So we get back in the swing very quickly on Monday.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good job here by the Redhawks to keep it alive. They need to get a shot off, down to 2 on the shot clock. Instead, it's going to be the Guardians coming away with it. Akintunde on the run off the glass, gets it to go.
Yeah, defender was just a little late to the spot there. He thought about taking a charge, but thought better of it.
Michael, the younger brother of Emmanuel Akintunde, fine player for the University of Saskatchewan Huskies. Durham in the other direction for the Guardians. McCullough. Now this is Spoon Hunter. Durham back up top. Akintunde. So we get the 2-minute mark in the first quarter. Durham looks to dish. Spoon Hunter going to set it up. Now he'll put up the jumper from about 14 feet. That one no good. Gets the rebound on his own miss. And then just a little bit careless with the ball. Ends up going out of bounds back over to Bedford.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. You want to maintain every possession you can and give yourself a shot every time you can.
So remains a 6-point game. St. Joe's has led the entire way, although Bedford hanging right there with them in this all Saskatoon matchup. Now it's a 4-point deficit. Great drive, Mohamed Salah. Salah now 4 points. Early going of this one. Durham now spotting up. Shot won't drop on the first attempt. Gets the rebound on his miss though and puts it in.
Yeah, great initial defense from the Redhawks. They had people in the help spot, and unfortunately the rebound was open for them afterwards.
Alex Andres looking to get it to drop. Unable to do so again. St. Joe's really looking to run the floor.
Yeah.
Pass for Spoonhunter gets knocked out of bounds by Bedford.
Yeah, it's great indication of what they're trying to do there. They're not necessarily even looking for a quick outlet. They're looking up the floor for a long pass for the touchdown.
Gage Dick back into the game for the Bedford Road Redhawks, wearing number 4. For St. Joe's, Ben Kellens wearing number 9 in for his first shift. Out of bounds will stay with the Guardians. 52 seconds to go, first quarter of action. It's a 6-point Guardians lead. Bedford in the other direction, in traffic. Andres can't get it to drop. Newdorf took a big tumble. He hops back up. Spoonhunter on the other end, nice take.
Alex is always pressing, always looking for an opportunity to score. Mo as well. Really quick and long players. There's Alex.
A little bit long on that 3-point attempt. So this game had gotten a little closer. Now trying to make it a double-digit lead once again for St. Joe's. Spoonhunter off the mark, however. So now shot clock off. Bedford Road can hold for the final shot of the first quarter of action. Salah, he'll hand it off into the hands of McMurtry. McMurtry long on the 3-point attempt. Don't look like St. Joe's will get much of a look at it. As I say that, a 3-quarter court heave comes pretty close. Daniel McCullough, nice touch.
Well, Dane took that shot with about 4 seconds left on the clock, which is what you want to do because it forces the other team to have that type of opportunity instead of a good shot from closer to the rim.
All Saskatoon matchups are always fun in the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament. You know, these are two teams that know each other pretty well. These players probably know each other pretty well. And from your perspective, there's got to be some value in this, although there's disappointment coming into this game. Both of these teams are in this game because they lost.
Yep. Something
to be learned, though, probably for the rest of the season, because, you know, these teams are going to face each other again as we make our way through the regular season.
Yeah, I guess it's always, when you come to a tournament like Brit, you always want to play all the teams from outside of the city and teams that you might not ever have the opportunity to play. The number 2 ranked team in BC or the number 1 ranked team in Ontario. But for both of these teams, they don't get an opportunity to play in front of a crowd like this. Really for the better part of the year.
Right.
And so, especially for our Bedford team, playing at Brit is an amazing opportunity to showcase their abilities to their friends and family.
Ready to kick things off here in the second quarter of play in the All-Saskatoon matchup. Bedford Road Collegiate will kick off the second quarter with the ball. Leading scorer for Bedford Road, Dane McMurtry, with 5 points, 4 points from Mohamed Salah. Loose ball. St. Joe's comes away with it. Going to be called for the travel. No cheering from the press box, Scott.
Sorry about
just
that.
Kidding. I'm just kidding. You're allowed. You're vice principal here. Scott did just the
Great
tiniest of
play.
claps. And then
Great hustle
caught
play
himself. It was a great hustle play.
Gage.
So Bedford Road will hang on to it. Gave you their leading scores. Alan Spoonhunter leading all scores. He's got 10 for St. Joe's. Mason Durham with 6 points for the Guardians. Here early going second quarter. Simon Hyatt, Scott Ferguson, great move underneath. Andres can't get it to drop, however. Guardians bring it in the other direction. Thinking about the shot from the corner and then passing up on it. Into the hands of McCullough. This is McGuire Schwitzer, now Akintunde looking for Josh Povey. This is Povey's first shift, wearing number 8. He's going to kick it into the corner, open look. Well off the mark, long on that attempt. So back come Bedford again, Sala on the run, again a little out of control, again gets it to drop. Man, that guy's got some skills.
He has great skills, and he can get to the basket, and he can control himself. Maybe after being a little bit out of control on the drive, he can control his body in the air.
Nice take on the other end. That's Josh Povey for 3. His first points of the afternoon, back to a 9-point lead for St. Joe's. Looking to drive, drawing contact, can't get it to go. Can Gage Dick, however, he will head to the free throw line.
It's nice to see some familiar names on the score sheet here. Daniel McCullough, son of former teammate Matt at the University of Saskatchewan. Povey is a long-standing basketball name in the city.
Absolutely.
And young Ben Kellen's out here. I actually coach mini basketball in the NBA, or NBA, pardon me, SMBA.
Okay. I'm sure it felt like
with
the
Mom Shauna.
Dick goes 1 for 2, however, looks like we'll have a lane violation. So Dick will get a second chance at that second free throw. His Redhawks trailing by 8, 6:34 to go, first half of action from Bedford Road Collegiate. Dick unable to make either of his second free throw attempts drop, so remains an 8-point game. St. Joe's has led the entire way. Povey up top. Schwitzer will get a whistle. Looks like something away from the ball. It was an offensive foul, I believe, or was it too long in the key?
I believe it was an illegal screen.
Legal screen.
Yeah, when you set a screen, certainly you want to always be in control, but sometimes if the offensive player is moving, you'll end up with an offensive foul.
Back over to Bedford, down 8. Reichel will pick up the dribble. Now he needs to find someone to give it to. Tries to force the pass in for Derek Enns. He'll get a jump ball.
Derek's a fairly strong and accomplished goalie in the city. He's a very good hockey player. It's his first year of basketball, and he's a great athlete, so it's good to see him out here.
A lot of versatility on this Bedford Road squad. Povey getting a little bit out of control himself, and he's going to be called for the offensive foul.
Gage Dick making a great play, finding the spot. And Gage is a real grinder. He likes to get in there and get his nose dirty for sure.
Mohamed Salah, Logan Newdorf back into the game for Bedford Road. 5:45 to go, first half of action. Redhawks with the ball. Andres thought about the shot. Now he's stuck down there with that double team. Tries to heave it over, get it in the hands of Mohamed Salah.
Great defense by St. Joe's.
Yeah, St. Joe's read that one, so they'll come in the other direction with the lead. Schwitzer now getting into some trouble as he makes his way through, so Salah will go on the run in the other direction. Chance at a 3-point play.
A great left hand from Mo. He adjusted in the air and switched to his left hand and was able to get the 3-point opportunity.
Salah up to 8 points on the afternoon. Trio of subs coming in for St. Joe's. Bedford Road will send Keegan White back into the game. Sam Marshall back in for the Guardians, as is Keegan White, Alan Spoon Hunter.
Redhawks, Coach Fay has them focusing on quick transitions as well. So certainly, as soon as they're getting that ball, they're looking up, and Mo is quick as they come.
Salah completing the 3-point play. That'll give him 9 on the afternoon. Redhawks back within 5 points, 5:15 to go, first half for Bedford Road. Nice pass underneath, nice pass. Great vision, we're gonna count it. Tough foul there underneath.
Yeah, a result of great off-the-ball movement from St. Joe's. Really strong team. I think that they have a really good opportunity of competing with some of the, well, they are in the top echelon of teams in Saskatoon.
Absolutely.
And they have a great opportunity to represent Saskatoon at provincials this year.
Durham can't complete the three-point play, so it remains a 7-point lead for the Guardians. Sala, this is Dick. He'll pick up the dribble. Quick take here, that one a little bit off the mark for McMurtry. A couple extra chances there to put it away. Quinton Reichel's first points of the afternoon.
Well, Poco does have 2 shoes on, I would like to report. At the moment, he is tying his second shoe.
Perhaps we will see him. Yeah, you knew coming into this one with that injury yesterday to Poco, we might not see him, as perhaps less to play for now, but maybe Coach Matt Hardridge having some second thoughts, doesn't want to see this one slip away, as
the young
Bedford
man
hanging right in there with him.
He has an opportunity to play football next year in the United States at San Diego State, and assigned there. So I suspect, obviously a very competitive guy, and I'm sure is willing to get in there if needed.
Official Mike Harrington over having a word at the scorer's table, trying to determine, I believe, if they would allow the substitution. Will not allow Dick to come back into the game. Quick inbounds, nice take underneath McGuire. Schwitzer there to put it away. So back up to a 7-point St. Joe's advantage. This is Andres. He'll pick up the dribble, goes cross-court for Sala. Tries to work his way through. I believe Marshall got a hand on that one. Newdorf goes down to the ground. Great ball movement ahead from Marshall. Tries to create some space underneath. Just a little too aggressive in doing so, as he kind of stuck his elbow out there to get that opening. Yeah.
Anytime you dip that shoulder to make space with the defensive player, the referees will take quick notice.
Timeout going to be called by Bedford Road. Well, it's been a weekend of a lot of memories shared here with the 50th anniversary of Bedford Road. Scott Ferguson, we were remiss if you didn't take advantage of this opportunity and ask you for some of your memories playing for that excellent Walter Murray Marauder team in the early 1990s, part of that team that won it all in 1990. What do you remember about that squad?
It's interesting. I don't remember a whole lot until it was over, and the tournament was such a blur, and at that time in my life, it was all about the basketball.
Yeah.
And I remember being at home and being so nervous about that upcoming final, or playing Evan Hardy at some point. It's just a wonderful time, and everything worked out nicely.
Yeah, absolutely, it did, becoming the first Saskatoon team in many years to win the Bedford Road Invitational tournament.
I guess I could ask you what your memories are of that.
I was sitting in 1990. I was sitting in the stands because I was a student at Walter Murray, and yelling myself hoarse, cheering for yourself, for the other great players on that team. We have Rich Lovelace, Ken Morris, Ryan Hindmarsh, Scott Hawley, Rod Heidelbaugh. Great team, and man, it's so exciting to be a part of that, not just as a player, but as a student coming away with the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament title.
Yeah, there was a real momentum in the school that you could feel the excitement, and Brit is a place where you see that start to grow, and we'll see Holy Cross tonight. We'll see Marion Graham tonight, and I know that those schools are experiencing the same feeling.
Shot off the mark for Mason Durham. Still a 7-point game coming out of the timeout. Simon Hyatt, Scott Ferguson from Bedford Road Collegiate in Saskatoon. Andres gets into trouble. Spoonhunter knocks it away. St. Joe's with numbers in the other direction. Durham there to finish it off.
Yeah, you can't afford to turn the ball over high with St. Joe's. They'll capitalize immediately.
Durham unofficially now up to 10 points on the afternoon. Pass intended down low for Gage Dick. Spoonhunter once again so good at reading those passes. He just runs the floor and lays it in. Spoonhunter up to 12.
A great athlete with great skills, absolutely.
This is Newdorf looking inside for Sala. Talk about those 1990 Marauders, coached by the official with the ball in his hand right now, Mike Harrington, underneath the basket.
Yes, Mike Harrington, great coach. He kept it simple for us, and one of his rules was it's a good shot if it hits the rim. we had some pretty good rebounders back then. I don't know if every coach is able to say that.
Spotting up for the jumper. This is Durham, a little bit long on that attempt. Andre's up to grab it. Gets it ahead into the hands of McMurtry.
Yeah, I think it's really important right now that Bedford Road gets a good possession and a good shot. We've had a number of turnovers in the last few possessions.
McMurtry off the mark on that attempt. Ball going out of bounds. Back over to Bedford Road. Durham just unable to corral it. You're right, this feels a little bit like yesterday's game with Bedford Road, where they were down, I believe, the entire game, but never really felt like they were out of it. They were very competitive yesterday, and obviously can hang right here with this team. As I say that, they turn it over. Reichel will go on the run. He goes down, but will shoot a pair of free throws.
Yeah,
pardon me, that's McGuire-Schwitzer.
Bedford isn't an easy team to play. There are some really strong athletes and really strong basketball players on the team, and I don't know if the credit is always given to some of the smaller schools in the city, but they definitely can play. I think that the Bedford team maybe isn't as deep as other teams, and you might see these 8-minute quarters at Brit benefit a team like Bedford. Garden City brought 7 players along with them. Cheap hotel opportunities there, but when it comes to the end of the game, you certainly want to have your players fresh and ready to play hard.
Yeah, alluded to that earlier. What a great effort yesterday. Makes that win against St. Joe's even more impressive. The fact that vast majority of the game, their starting 5 were on the floor. They, as I mentioned earlier, did get into a little bit of foul trouble late. So they did have to bring in that 6th guy to play a few minutes at the end, but were able to hang on. And what an effort from Garden City yesterday.
Absolutely. And you know what? At this age, there are a lot of players that would rather play 40 minutes than take a break.
Again, Mohamed Salah on the run. Again, ends up a little out of control. Again, gets it to drop. What a great take.
When he gets near that basket, he's so strong. He's really, really fun to watch and presents a great deal of difficulty for defenders.
So Salah with a chance to make it a 10-point game. He does so. He's up to 12 points on the afternoon. 1:42 to go, first half. Dangerously close to that midcourt line. Which could be a jump ball. Possession arrow favoring Bedford. Some more good hustle from the Red Hawks.
Yeah, 1-2-2 half-court zone press. Good long arms from Mo. Alex Andre's got on that ball as well. Great effort from Alex. He's a intense and strong competitor.
Newdorf. Back up. Murtry underneath. Andre's off the glass and in.
That's the type of possession that's needed. Great passing.
Great ball movement once again. You said it. Underneath, McGuire-Schwitzer there to put it away. And then almost a great steal by Alan Spoonhunter.
Yeah, against a team like against St. Joe's, you can't afford to throw lazy passes or assume that everybody's moved back there.
Under a minute to go, first half of action in this all-Saskatoon matchup. Salah ends up with it, easy lay-in.
Fortunate bounce for the Red Hawks there.
Salah, a great second quarter. He's up to 10 points here in the second. Quick take on the other end. That'll drop from outside. Mason Durham, he's up to 13.
Speaking of people putting time on the floor, it looks like Coach Fay has put on a few kilometers today, back and forth along that bench.
Long pass intended for Spoonhunter. Spoonhunter takes it in, can't get it to go. Does draw the contact. Looks like the shot will be waved off. The St. Joe's ball out of bounds. 19.4 seconds to go, second quarter. Substitution for Bedford Road. Before we can get Emmanuel Igor into the game, we will get another timeout. As we relive some of those memories. Something we're doing a lot this weekend with the 50th anniversary of the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament. 1990, we mentioned Walter Murray, of course, won the title. You were a key part of that team. 1991, that was one I remember well because, you know, it seemed like each and every year the the big opponent that year for the Marauders, that is, was the Evan Hardy Souls.
Absolutely.
And I think that was the one time all year Walter Murray was able to beat Evan Hardy, beat them in Brit. Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, absolutely. And it was interesting. In the year before, Walter Murray managed to win everything. And the year after, in my grade 12 year, unfortunately, Evan Hardy did quite well with Kurt Palmanek, who went on to play at the University of Southern California.
Correct,
Regan Spatuka, who went out to Victoria on the coast to play, and some other really strong players. We had great competition those years. And Brit, I guess we just got Brit.
Yeah. I think ended up coming in third that year, beat Evan Hardy, and then lost in the next. I can't remember who was it Campbell, maybe?
Good question. That was a long time ago.
I don't want to do the math to figure out how long ago that was. Questions of mortality start creeping in. Shot clock off. Quick take here for Durham. That one's off the marks. Now Bedford Road looking to run. Bedford
wants to make sure they don't turn the ball back over and give them an opportunity. 3 seconds.
Dick Andres will put up the last shot of the first half.
You want that last shot, but you absolutely want to make sure that the other team doesn't get an opportunity there. So good timing on the shot, unfortunately didn't go in.
A little bit short. So 38-27 will be our score at the half. Bonus coverage here on Shaw TV at the 50th Annual Bedford Road Invitational Tournament. I'm Simon Hyatt, Scott Ferguson along with me. Thanks so much for tuning in to a little bit of bonus coverage. This is an awful lot of fun to be here at Brit. Of course, it is an all-Saskatoon matchup that we're calling today, Ferg. And a little bit of a change-up this year. Saskatoon teams actually had to earn their way in to this tournament. What were your thoughts on that? There was a series of play-in games.
I loved it. The play-in games were a great opportunity for other teams in the league to earn their way into the tournament. And the top 3 ranked teams ended up playing in the tournament. But we had some really close games. And Brit's such a coveted piece of a team season. When we picked the 3 teams outside of our Bedford Road Redhawks, on the odd time there was some controversy about selections, and really this was an opportunity to let teams earn their way here. And that evening, the play-in games was a wonderful collection again of the Saskatoon basketball community, and these 3 teams that are here distinguished themselves, and they showed that they absolutely deserve to be here.
Let's go back and take a look at some of the highlights from those play-in games, find out how these Saskatoon teams earned their way to Brit. 2018 marks a milestone for the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament, as Brit will be celebrating 50 years of the best high school basketball in Western Canada. And while the tourney has featured teams from New York, Australia, and all across Canada, there's always a strong local contingent of teams taking part as well. And for the first time ever, Saskatoon squads competed for their spots in a trio of games staged in December. Game 1 of the play-in tripleheader featured the Aidan Bowman Bears taking on the Marion Graham Falcons, and there were plenty of interested observers taking this one in, including U of S Huskies head coach Barry Rollick, perhaps checking in on one of his recruits, Alex Dewar, who will join his older brother Addison next season. Dewar didn't play a ton after the first half in this one, however, as his Falcons put the game away early. We will pick this one up in the second half, senior Andre Ayad doing it at both ends. He pulls down the rebound on the Bears' miss and then would get the ball back. Makes the nice drive to expand the Falcons' lead. The big man for the Bears, Cole Anderson, did what he could to keep his team in the game. Here he shows he's not just a presence on the inside, but also possesses a shooter's touch, knocking down a 3 with a hand in his face. But Graham held a 32-point lead heading into the fourth, and of course these being Brit games, that meant just 8 minutes remained for the Bears to mount a comeback. Nice play here by Bowman's Jesse Gilbertson to get up and disrupt the pass. That would lead to an easy lay-in. Ben Gaskin became a crowd favorite at last year's Brit as a grade 9 player, and he continued to shine on the hardwood at Bedford. Here he hits a three-pointer to expand the Falcon lead to 35. And then in the dying moments, the final dagger would come from Julian Suggs as he works his way up top for an open look and hits a three of his own. The final score 70-38 as Marion Graham became the first Saskatoon team to officially join the bracket at Brit 50, along with the host Bedford Road Redhawks. Dewar ended up with 19 on the night. I had added 12, while Anderson had a great game in the loss, tallying 18 for the Bears. On to Game 2, which featured a pair of the city's newer schools, as the St. Joseph Guardians took on the Bethlehem Stars, Bethlehem seeking their first ever appearance in the tournament. It didn't take long to get the scoring going in this one. St. Joe's Daniel Okpoko wins the opening tip. Alan Spoonhunter finds Mason Durham underneath, and the Guardians lead about a second and a half into the game. More nice work here from Durham. He works his way through all sorts of traffic for the lay-in. And then it was Okpoko on the defensive end. He blocks the Jalen Aranda shot and gets it into the hands of McGuire Schwitzer. He feeds Keegan White, who finds an open lane and makes no mistake. St. Joe's in control early in this one. Then it's Spoonhunter's turn as he works his way through a trio of stars and gets it to go off the glass. That opened up a 17-2 lead for the Guardians. There were some bright spots for Bethlehem, however. Aranda tracks down the loose ball and looks to run the floor. Gets it back and then makes the nice dish to Joseph Jumo, who finishes it off. And then it's Joshua Lapira with a quick catch and release to pull the Stars 3 points closer. Aranda again looking to attack, trying to keep his team in it. Nice baseline drive past a pair of defenders. Then late in the game, Peter Herron comes up with the loose ball, runs the length of the floor, and makes a nice move along the way for 2 more. But in the end, St. Joe's just too much for the Stars. The Guardians punched their ticket to Brit 50 with an 80-56 victory. Okpoko led the way with 17 points in the game. Spoonhunter had 15 of his own for St. Joseph, while Aranda finished up with 16 in the loss for Bethlehem. The nightcap featured 2 of the more experienced teams in tournament history, the Bishop James Mahoney Saints and the Holy Cross Crusaders. In fact, if Holy Cross were to be knocked out in this game, it would mark only the second time in history they would not appear in Brit. First quarter action, Brian Ahat from cross disrupts the dribble of Brant Wood. Ahat comes away with the ball, and although his initial shot is blocked, he stays with it and finishes off the play. Then Ahat almost forces another turnover, but Bishop James, able to maintain the possession, leads to an easy 2 underneath for Hunter White. Then the Saints go on the run and Holy Cross gets caught out of position as Wood has the wide open look from the corner. He takes advantage of the opportunity and hits for 3, and in the early going at least, this looked like it would be a close one. Saints continuing to make things happen in transition. This time it's grade 10 player Drew Rysavi on the run. He finishes it off with a nice underhand scoop shot that opened up an early 5-point BGAM lead. Cross would have an answer, however. Ramsey Durbus up top directing traffic, and then he decides just to take care of things himself. He hits all net for 3. And then it's some nice ball movement by Cross. Durbus ends up feeding it down low to Benjamin Carlson, who puts it away. And then with time winding down in the first, looks like Cross may have practiced this one a few times. Mitch Wagner gets it into the front court, turns around to find Durbus, and he hits for 3 as the buzzer sounds. Crusaders take a 4-point lead into the second. And that would grow as the outside game continued to serve Cross well. This time it's Josh Rutten hitting for 3. And then it's Musanto Mwango with a nice little spin move to increase the Crusader advantage to 7. BJM doing all they can to hang in there against their rivals, Rysavi doing it from outside this time. On to the second half, and Holy Cross starts to pull away. Rysavi loses the handle. Baha Salma there to scoop it up. He runs the floor to make it 35-21 Crusaders. Tony Parada had the brightest shoes on the floor. That must have made it easy for Benjamin Carlson to find him. He hits for 3 on the open look. And then Durbus really started to heat up late. This 3 among the long shots he hit in the 4th, opening the lead to 17. Hunter White did all he could to keep the Saints in this one. He makes a nice move to cut through the D for 2. But it would be too little too late as Holy Cross keeps their Brit tradition alive with a 60-43 win. Durbus scored a third of those with 20, while Mowango ended up with 11. White would finish up with 16 for BJM. Back at the half at Bedford Road Collegiate, 38-27 is our score. St. Joseph's out of Saskatoon with an 11-point lead over the Bedford Road Redhawks, the host team of the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament. Simon Hyatt, Scott Ferguson with you. Bonus coverage on Shaw TV. We're going to take a look at some of the highlights of an entertaining first half of action, Scott. Pretty good game all in all, and as we say, you know, impressive job, I think, with Bedford Road doing a good job hanging right there with their rivals from the city of Saskatoon, St. Joe's.
Yeah, absolutely. It's important game for our Red Hawks. They played in front of the school yesterday, and this is another chance to play in front of their school, along with a number of our elementary neighborhood schools. So little brothers and sisters are here, and it's time to give it your best effort for sure.
Yeah, it's really cool. Nice that you open this up to elementary schools coming in and able to watch the game, be a part of the action. Again, the crowd, it's a good-sized crowd here this afternoon. This is great.
It's absolutely great. And like I said before, these players don't get too many chances to play in front of this many people. So there's a little bit on the line for these teams.
Take a look at some of the highlights from the first half of action in this 38-27 game. Again, St. Joseph's with the lead. Saw Alan Spoonhunter there. He's got 12 points in the first half of action. Another shot there from the corner for Spoonhunter. Mason Durham actually leading the way for St. Joseph's. This is Durham. Great drive underneath, scoops it up and in. He's got 13 points in the first half of action. Murtry on the Bedford Road side of things. He's got 5 points in the first half. Real star in the first half was that man, Mohamed Salah. 14 points for Salah in the first half of action. Yeah, unfortunately for Bedford Road, it's been kind of those two guys, and nobody else really able to get much going in the first half of action. But man, really impressed with Mohamed Salah in the first half, Scott.
Absolutely. The team looks to him to be a source of a good deal of offense. Alex Andres as well. It's wonderful.
And again, we're seeing some highlights from Alan Spoonhunter, another guy who really showed his athleticism in the first half. And as we mentioned, you never really want to be playing on the B side of the draw as these two teams are, because it does mean you lost your first game. But certainly a lot to play for both of these teams playing here on Friday afternoon.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, like I said before, these teams are up against the best teams in Canada. Representation from Quebec westward. So it's a great challenge, and there's no shame playing on the B side at Brit.
Lots of basketball yet to come today as well. Marion Graham out of Saskatoon, they'll be playing their first game of the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament. That one goes at 6:30 tonight as they'll be taking on Notre Dame out of Ottawa. Dr. Martin Laboldis, certainly a team that's had an awful lot of success at the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament out of Regina. They'll be playing their first game against Belmont. That one's coming up at 5 o'clock. Belmont out of Victoria, British Columbia. So at that point, everyone will have played at least one game in the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament. For folks who aren't familiar with the format, it is sort of interesting. With a 12-team format, you'll end up in a situation like this where you've got a couple of teams playing their second games before a few of the teams have played their first ones.
Yeah, absolutely. 12 teams from across Canada. It's incredibly difficult to seed, to get the information. Who would be a comparable team? Who would be our top-ranked team? We know everyone here is strong, and we're really excited to see the Saskatoon teams go up tonight. We've got Holy Cross playing their second game tonight as well.
Holy Cross coming up with the big win last night, downing Pitt Meadows 64-56 was the final in that one. So it will be Holy Cross taking on Garden City out of Winnipeg. That one at 8 o'clock tonight, as Scott Ferguson mentioned. Just about ready to resume play here in the second half of this one. 38-27 is our score after 16 minutes of play at the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament. The Friday 12:30 game. Thank you for joining us for our bonus coverage of the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament. 50th installment of Brit. Hard to believe. It's been a part of a tradition here on Shaw TV since the early 2000s, and we absolutely love it. Something we look forward to each and every year.
Yeah, and the players love it too. They love seeing their game on TV, and I know that friends and family are watching not just on Shaw, but on a Yahoo or a YouTube feed, and you know, people can see for around the country, around the world.
Yeah, it's great. Every year the games, once we get them posted online, they'll get thousands of views. So we love that. So wherever you happen to be watching our coverage this weekend, thank you for joining us. A reminder, we will have cheerleading competition coming up Saturday afternoon. That one starts at noon, and then third place game, 7:30 tomorrow night. Championship game, 9 o'clock. Scott Hawley and I will have the call on those two games tomorrow night from here at Bedford.
Nice move.
Very nice. Gets the friendly bounce, does Alex Andres.
The ball handler always enjoys when the defender falls to the ground, for sure.
Good if Bedford could get Andres going here in the second half. Just 3 points in the first half.
Yeah, good for Durham going back at him as well.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Just underway, third quarter of this one. A reminder, it is 8-minute quarters here at the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament. Marshall into the hands of White. White will take a step to his left. Now back up top, this is Spoon Hunter. Andres on him. Good read there by Newdorf. Got a hand on it. Marshall able to keep it alive and gets it to drop.
Nice play, good drop step. Got up, elevated, and dropped in the basket. That's a really hard shot. It looked pretty easy there, but it's not.
Solid dribbles into the double team, kicks it back outside. A little bit out of control, stumbling is McMurtry. And then good play there by Andres to pick the pocket. So he'll bring it back in the other direction for Bedford. And then just like that, St. Joe steals it right back. Gonna lead to the lay-in for McGuire Schwitzer. Sala losing the handle, bounces it off, nice pass. Will get contact down low.
You always want your players going hard to the basket like that. St. Joe's went for the block, but Bedford was in a great spot, and he gets 2 shots out of it.
So Dane McMurtry to the free throw line for the Red Hawks. He's got 5 points on the afternoon. This is the front end, so will remain a 15-point deficit for his Bedford Road squad.
Nothing like shooting a free throw in front of hundreds of people.
McMurtry 0 for 2. Another running take, that one won't go. Second chance, wide open look. Marshall just jams the rim, but gets his own second chance, makes no mistake, gets it to drop.
Yeah, he's a strong rebounder. He does a lot of things for St. Joe's, especially with Opokoa.
Right, if you weren't with us in the first half, Daniel Okpoko injured in yesterday's game, rolled the ankle. Did come back and play a little bit, but we haven't seen him yet this afternoon. Don't know if we will. Can tell you he is currently wearing 2 shoes. Great shot from the corner for 3. Quinton Reichel. Marshall feeling it. He's got 6 points. All 6 have come in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Looks like he could use a phone booth, that young man.
I noticed a few players in this tournament seem to actually just be wearing regular glasses. But I miss the old days of like Kareem with the goggles.
Yeah, Kurt Rambis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't Kurt always have like the tape in the middle of his glasses?
Absolutely, absolutely. The players now are a little bit more fashion conscious.
Akintunde back into the game for St. Joe's. Dick back in for Bedford Road, also joining him out there, number 33, Derek Enns. Open look here for Sala for 3. That one no good. Spoon Hunter up to grab the rebound. 4:45 to go, third quarter. Hunter comes to the near side. Now Durham looking to work his way through traffic. He called for the foul. It's Bedford Road's Dane McMurtry.
St. Joe's is looking for those opportunities to get in the key, to draw defenders. If no one comes to you, you score the basket. If someone comes to you, you can dish it off or potentially get fouled.
Durham misses the first free throw.
Looks like Coach Fay has a question for the referees here.
I wonder if it has to do with who that foul was on. They get it right now. It does go on McMurtry.
I was curious if there was a foul down below. It looked okay up top.
Yeah. Initially, they had announced that it was on number 12, Amon Khan, which would be difficult because he's not on the floor. Sala gonna get into trouble down low. He pulls back up, some contact, will get a foul. This one will go on McMurtry. So back over to the Guardians, 4:23 to go third quarter. Spoon Hunter will shoot from out there. He does. That one bounces around, won't drop, knocked out of bounds. Will stay with the Guardians.
Yeah, Spoon Hunter getting a lot of room to shoot there, and I think he's certainly not afraid of that particular shot. So I don't know if the Red Hawks are getting a little bit tired at this point. You'd want to see a better contested shot there.
Absolutely. Great atmosphere here at Bedford Road Collegiate. Lots of Bedford Road students here, lots of elementary school students, and a beautifully decorated gym. Of course, the banners that we have up each and every year, Scott, they are beautiful. And man, oh man, I love the new ones. There you can see from a couple of the ones from the dance showcase, but the team ones are really impressive this year. Kind of an old school basketball card look to them.
The chair, Nicole Poyer, thought that would be a suitable theme for the 50th, and staff and students at Bedford Road created a panel for each of the teams, and I absolutely love them. And everyone that's come into the gym has been really pleased with these. A few of them may harken back to the 90s, maybe a few years before that.
Yeah.
But I absolutely love the strange and awkward poses that these gentlemen were placed in to show how good of basketball players are. Absolutely.
No, absolutely beautiful. And again, because there were play-ins this year, we didn't know who the Saskatoon teams were going to be until mid-December, late December. So. There was some hard work being done over the break-in in early January to get them all done.
Absolutely, and usually the teams are established, or in the past they've been established early. And I know that at some schools they actually had clubs established to put together their panel, and a lot of excitement created in that way. But this year we've done it a little bit differently, and I'm so happy with the results.
Spoon Hunter short on the shot attempt, leads to a fast break. Derek Enns' first basket of the afternoon.
Derek Enns engaged Dick, the premier badminton boys doubles team at Bedford Road here.
3-point shot off the mark for Schwitzer. We get a foul called against Bedford.
Another Bedford connection here today. Jason Johnson, the referee, is alumnus from the school.
Very cool. Quentin Reichel, Logan Newdorf back in for Bedford.
Oh. Not sure what happened there.
I'm not either. I was looking down at my score sheet. I was hoping you were going to rescue me there.
Looked like a little practice. A little practice for Reichel.
Ball out of bounds, back over to St. Joe's, or are they saying it's going to hang on to Bedford Road? It is Bedford Road maintaining possession. I thought Andres had lost it out of bounds. They will have 12 seconds to work with on the shot clock. 3:10 to go, third quarter of action. Andre spins his way through. He's going to kick it back up high. Sala passing on the shot. Now picks up the dribble, kicks it back up top Quick take here, that one off the mark for Andres. Under 3 to go, third quarter. Akintunde underneath gets it to drop.
Yeah, great use of the fast break to establish an advantage there.
This is Sala. Now trying for Andres, gets it to him on the second try. Now Andres gets up into the air in some trouble. Dick gonna put up the off-balance shot, gets it to go.
I think Mr. Sala's getting a little extra attention in the second half here.
Tunde unable to squeeze that one.
Great opportunity for other players to get open and to find people under the basket, just like that last play.
Substitutions for Bedford. Dane McMurtry back in. Derek Enns as well. As Dick and Newdorf will head to the bench. Bedford continuing to trail in this one. St. Joseph's led the whole way. Andres in the corner. Now they'll look to take it in against McCullough. That one won't find the mark. It looks like
really good defense from St. Joe's there. They're getting to that ball very quickly and putting Bedford in a position where they need to take a really difficult shot in order to score.
Absolutely. Bedford committing the foul as well. 2:06 to go, third quarter. White will pick up the dribble. McCullough. Now Spoonhunter works his way through. Great take.
Great play, great play. He may have an opportunity to play a little bit of basketball after high school.
I've been very impressed with him. I remember had a great game, as you saw in our highlight pack there at halftime in the play-ins. Off-balance shot, great take now by Alex Andres.
We know that Alex Dewar from Marion Graham has signed with the U of S Huskies for next year.
Yeah.
And I'd be very curious to know Coach Barry's intentions with some of these other young stars in the city.
Well, you know, there might be opportunities available. I mean, that Huskies team, I'm lucky enough I do the play-by-play for the Huskies men's and women's basketball team, and that men's team, they've been playing kind of short-handed all year, so you know Coach Wallach is going to be doing a lot of recruiting in the offseason, and obviously that's already begun, as you mentioned. Alexander Dewar going to be joining the Huskies next season, younger brother of Addison Dewar, who's already a Husky. Now we'll get an offensive foul going against Spoonhunter.
Yeah, great positioning by Dane McMurtry. Good athletic move to get to that spot and put the offensive player in trouble.
Just over a minute to go, third quarter of action from Bedford Road. Bonus coverage of the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament. Sala, open look from up top. He spots up for the three-pointer. That one no good. Loose ball. Spoonhunter able to save it. Gets it into the hands of McCullough. He'll go on the run in the other direction. McCullough going to spot up from around the free throw line. He hits for two. First points of the afternoon for Daniel McCullough.
That quick shot maybe gave St. Joe's an opportunity to get two possessions at the end of the half, the old 2-for-1 possession trick.
We'll begin another possession here as Bedford turns it over. Under 30 to go, third quarter. McCullough bouncing it in. A bunch of traffic tying up Ben Kellens was Derek Enns of Bedford Road. Possession arrow favoring Bedford Road Redhawks. Well, Bedford going a little bit deeper into their bench. Yusuf Khan going to check in for his first shift wearing number 5. This is Khan with the ball. Shot clock, game clock virtually identical at this point. So Bedford likely can hold for that last shot. Reichel, he'll look to push in. Now it's going to be Khan spotting up for the three-pointer. That one rims out.
A great opportunity.
Yeah.
I love it when players get on the floor and make the most of it, for sure. And he's a very skilled player. Hasn't been on the floor yet, but he is a strong player. Offensively, he can get to the basket and has a great shot.
Grade 11 player is Yusuf Khan. Had a good look at that one, as you say. Couldn't get it to go, so remains a sizable St. Joseph lead as we head into the final 8 minutes of play. Talked about it earlier. This is just the beginning of a weekend full of Bedford Road Invitational Tournament coverage right here on Shaw TV. The cheerleading competition that goes at noon tomorrow, noon Saturday. cheerleading and pom showcase. That's always a great event here at the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament. And of course, we've got third place final coming up Saturday at 7:30. That'll be followed by the championship game Saturday night at 9 p.m. Scott Hawley and I will have the call on those two games. Be a lot of fun. Scott, how are you holding up here? Early going Bedford. We're, I guess, maybe halfway or so through the Brit tournament. I know this is something that well, I don't want to say it takes a toll, but it's a lot of work on the staff and students here at Bedford Road.
Our staff is amazing, and they've really mobilized a great number of students to be part of it. If you know Brit, you know about the organizational structure, and we have our chair, Nicole Poyer, who has a group of 4 or 5 students who help organize almost every element of the tournament, and it's amazing to see. People are tired, but we just watched Kelly Bowers, and you can't possibly sit still when Kelly's on the move. He won't let you, actually.
Dick a little bit slow getting up after that one. See, he does wear that knee brace, so hopefully nothing too serious there for Gage Dick of the Bedford Road Redhawks, as he's going to limp his way back over to the bench. Bring Yusuf Khan back into the game. Just underway, fourth quarter of play. Long inbounds pass. St. Joe's continue to lead as they have all afternoon. Schwitzer picks up the dribble, leads to the long take for Daniel McCullough. That one off the mark. Kahn comes down with it, tries to get it into the front court, does so, although ball going out of bounds. Saved by the Redhawks. Open look in the corner for Reichel. He hits for 3.
Quentin's a good shooter. He can hit him if they leave it open, and a great play there, disrupting the St. Joe's break.
Bedford showing a little bit of pressure here on the inbounds. Lay-in shot won't drop for Josh Povey, so another chance here for Bedford to chip away at that deficit, although, as I mentioned in that highlight package, it's tough to have a big deficit with 8-minute quarters heading into the fourth quarter. Got to make a lot of magic happen to come back in these Brit games. Three-pointers might be the way to do it. That one off the mark for Dane McMurphy. Second chance for Bedford. Pardon me, Kahn can't finish it.
Really strong on-the-ball defense from St. Joe's. Mohammed was covered by Ben Kellens there and just did a great job on the ball.
Povey well off the mark on that running take. Sala has an open look for 3, a little bit long on that attempt. Sala looks like he wants to slow things down a little bit here. He's going to run the offense a bit. Take instead, and a nice one at that. McGuire Schwitzer for 3.
Great step back three-pointer. That shows a lot of skill and a lot of confidence as well.
Timeout called by the Bedford Road Redhawks. They're down by 16, hanging around in this one, but a bit of a mountain for them to overcome if they're going to get back into this one. Of course, we had the opening media conference back on Tuesday afternoon, Scott, and heard from Bedford's head coach, Eric Fahey, about just what it would mean to these guys to just be able to come up with a win. You know, they know that they're in for some really tough competition this weekend, but this, once again, impressed with some of the talent we're seeing on the Bedford side of things.
Absolutely. Bedford Road beat Holy Cross a couple years ago in a really tight game. So the players believe, and they are coached very well, and the coach puts them in great positions. Eric Fay, he puts them in great spots to get those opportunities. And again, like I said before, I'm really proud of our group of players, not just on the floor, but in our hallways and our classrooms.
To be a program on the upswing for sure. Bedford Road has only won their own tournament the one time in the first year of the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament. Perhaps some year in the not too distant future they'll be able to play on Saturday nights. Mohamed Salah hits for 3.
Yeah, he's not afraid of that shot either. He's got most of his points near the basket tonight, but if you leave him open, he'll hit the shot.
Sala unofficially up to 17 points on the afternoon. Great ball movement by St. Joe's, ends up in the hands. Ben Kellen's underneath. So back up to the 18-point lead for St. Joe's. Great job underneath. Alex Andres, 3 guys guarding him.
Tough basket. St. Joe's had a lot of presence near that basket, and Alex managed to squeeze through.
And St. Joe's just able to get the ball into the front court, is getting into trouble with McCullough. They'll turn it back. So maybe a little bit of momentum here for the Red Hawks. Down 16, just over 5 to go in this one. Sala runs into trouble down low, ends up dribbling it out of bounds.
Yeah, St. Joe's is really strong on their rotation. They're getting to the ball, and they're certainly athletic enough to get back out if Bedford manages to kick it out.
Akintunde on the run. He'll draw contact from behind. We'll get a foul called on McMurtry.
Yeah, the Bedford boys are getting tired for sure, and St. Joe's looks fairly fresh. They are moving the ball up the sideline quickly. They're still looking for those opportunities to score off that break.
Akintunde hits the front end. 11 guard.
I have to say, Mike Harrington's doing incredibly well, making it up and down the floor. At his age, he's quite the specimen.
Just got to give those digs to your old coach, right?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Andre's trying to spin his way towards the basket, ends up losing the handle on it, just kind of heaves the ball up into the air, and then a couple of players go up for it. I think Andres just didn't really have much choice there, just knew he had to get rid of it, so flip a coin, maybe it'll end up in the hands of a teammate, and well, it'll be Bedford's ball out of bounds.
You love to see the competitive juices flowing between these two teams still. The game right now at a 17-point difference, but they're still fighting really hard. Love the spirit on both sides.
Sala off the mark on that long attempt. Ball will go out of bounds. Is on the other side. McGuire Schwitzer himself ended up in the air. Didn't really have anything to do with it. And ends up going out of bounds back over to Bedford. 4:25 to go. Fourth and final quarter of action. Our special expanded Bedford Road Invitational Tournament coverage. Quick take here. McCullough off the mark on that one. Couple of Guardians up to try and grab it.
Good rebound by Kelly.
McCullough directing traffic now. Dish it off. Sala bought on that. And we get a foul on the inside as Povey was driving.
Yeah, McCullough's running the floor fairly nicely for General as the point guard. Like I mentioned before, his father did much the same, but I think enjoyed shooting much more than young McCullough, who clearly has been given a job as a grade 10 student. He'll be here for a few more years, I would imagine.
Platoon substitutions for the Bedford Road Red Hawks. A quintet of players seeing the floor for the first time. Number 3 is Aiden Crockett. 22, Avery Jimmy, pardon me. Number 44, Matthew Ruck. Number 10 is Arife Okanola. 23 is Emmanuel Igor. So good chance for some of these guys who maybe don't get to play a whole lot to get some experience playing in the Bedford Road Invitational Tournament that they help host.
Yeah, some good, strong athletes out there for Bedford. Mr. Ruck there, I think he broke me in a staff student game recently. I couldn't walk for a week. He's a great kid in our classrooms, and football, basketball, he's full on. So really like to see young men like him out here.
Although probably an ill-advised thing to do. You don't want to hurt the vice principal.
Well, we were having fun. Absolutely. They're competitive kids. I love it.
So Ruck to the free throw line. Hits the second one. Was he the Bedford Road representative in the three-point competition as well? Did you notice?
You know what? I didn't see the entirety of the three-point contest.
Foul called on the inside. Once again, Povey driving. Emmanuel Igor picking up his first foul. Good job to get that one inbounded. Little drop for Povey.
Yeah, here you want to see the players control that ball, get good passes, and let's find a really good opportunity to get a clear shot.
This is Ruck on the outside now looking to drive, dishes it, looking down at his feet as he puts up the three-point shot. That one won't go for Igor. Povey will slow things down. Just over 3 minutes to go in this one.
Really good rotation on the defense there, Crockett.
Thought Crockett wanted to put the shot up there. Instead, he dishes off. Now up top, this is Jimmy. Check it, that's Emmanuel Igor.
Emmanuel
gets it to go.
Left-handed layup. Tough plays, avoiding the block.
It's Bedford back within 16, 2:35 to go. Quick take here. Caden Holman off the mark for three. St. Joe's also going into their bench a little bit. Holman, grade 11 guard, wearing number 1.
Got another sub here. Another interesting connection. Mr. Ronan Iron is coming on the floor for Bedford.
It's a great name.
Who happens to be the son of Jason Johnson.
Interesting.
So we'll see if Jason calls a foul on his son immediately.
I say just a quick technical.
Yeah.
Just to say, all right, you mind your manners, mister.
Yeah.
Good on both free throw attempts is Daniel Larson. Larson, grade 11 player for St. Joe's. Ton. Little scoop shot. That one won't go for Igor. St. Joe's looking to run. Now they'll slow things down. Povey tries to work his way through traffic. It's a quartet of Red Hawk players. We'll get a foul called against Bedford.
Ronan Iron with the foul.
See a little bit of a word there between father and son. Come on, Dad. How are you getting me for that one? It's clean. So to the free throw line once again, Povey. He's 1 for 2, gets the rebound on his own miss and puts it back in.
Oh, cardinal sin right there. You never let the shooter get into the in for the rebound.
Largest lead of the afternoon for St. Joe's, now at 21 points. That drive won't go as Igor draws contact on his way through.
Yeah, Manuel's really quick and he can get to the basket, so he's a tough guard out there with the ball.
Friendly bounce, you can tell. That's a guy, he knows these rims. That one rattled home.
We have a lot of gym rats on this team, and I'm sure on St. Joe's as well. Kids this age, they just love the sport, and any opportunity they have to play is a great opportunity. Really nice ball movement there from St. Joe's.
Back to a 22-point lead. Talk about things to play for in this game. Possibly the biggest thing on both sides is if you lose this game, you have to play in that dreaded 8 a.m. game coming up tomorrow morning.
Well,
no one wants to do that.
I've coached that game before, and there's nothing that's as quiet as the Bedford gym at 7:30 in the morning.
Are you saying the crowd isn't quite like this?
It's just slightly a little more empty. Absolutely. I had the good fortune to coach here with Mount Royal back in the early 2000s with Michael Linklater as one of our players.
Oh, excellent.
And then tagged along with Walter Murray when I was there, and
Great.
Trevor Myrtle was the coach.
Great to have Michael Linklater as part of this weekend's events, as we mentioned his name. He and Mike Leifers, Nolan Rudell, a trio of local basketball legends, currently making a name for themselves in the 3-on-3 world.
Yeah,
They spoke at the breakfast this morning.
Yeah, they did the Q&A, and apparently the players were very attentive, and certainly knowing the resume that these gentlemen are building, even in their mid-30s, is very impressive.
Wow, Linklater might be in his early 40s now. He was playing with the Huskies when he was old. I don't know.
I checked yesterday. He's 37.
37. Okay.
Yeah, Nolan's 27. Leifers up there with Linklater as well. But amazing athletes and really great competitors, always.
Time winding down in this one. Final few seconds. Bedford Road will put up the final shot, and that one will go with 1.2 seconds to go in this one. Will go as a 73-54 victory for the St. Joseph Guardians. So congratulations to St. Joe's out of Saskatoon. So now with that win, they advance to the game tonight at 9:30. Actually, they're going to be taking on the loser of the game between, if I look at my schedule, between Belmont and La Boldis at 5 p.m. Bedford Road, unfortunately, sorry guys, you got to get up early, get that coffee going. They're playing tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. We're going to take a quick break. You're watching live Brit Basketball on Shaw TV.
Ever watch TV and said to yourself, I could do that? Well, you can. As part of its community access programming, Shaw TV is looking for volunteer-run, community-produced short segments and shows. Create your own program, your ideas, your vision, on television. Bring us your proposal, sell us on it, and we'll train you and your crew, providing the professional equipment you need to make your ideas reality for free. Everyone is welcome. Get involved in making your own community program. See where it takes you.
Back at Bedford Road Collegiate in Saskatoon, just saw St. Joseph defeat the host team, the Bedford Road Redhawks, 73-54 the final score. Simon Hyatt, Scott Ferguson, happy to be with you. Scott, making your color commentary debut today. You did great. It was fantastic. It was a lot of fun.
I just enjoy getting to hang out with you for an hour or so.
It's good times. Yeah. Scott and I went to high school together. You may have mentioned with the Walter Murray heavy content that we featured that you may have guessed that we've known each other for many years, and this was an awful lot of fun. Great to be a part of the Brit experience, no matter what you are, if you're a player, if you're a fan, if you're a team manager. Awesome to have a chance to bring some extra basketball to our viewers this afternoon. We will be taking a look at some of the highlights from this afternoon's game between St. Joseph and Bedford Road, but we also do want to remind you that coming your way tomorrow afternoon at noon, it will be the Cheerleading and Pom Showcase right here on Shaw TV. That's if you're not here at Bedford Road Collegiate, which it's quite an experience to be here in this gym when that is going on. That kicks off at noon. Jackie Kripke will be handling commentary duties on that. Always a lot of fun. 7:30, it'll be the third place game. Scott Hawley and I will have the call in that one. And of course, the championship game coming your way at 9 p.m. from Bedford Road Collegiate as the 50th annual Bedford Road Invitational Tournament will wrap up. Scott, what's the rest of the weekend hold for you? Try to get some rest at some point, or do you just kind of go on cruise control?
Absolutely not.
Sunday is the time for rest?
Yeah, absolutely. My lovely wife Stephanie is taking care of business and at home, and certainly this is a great opportunity to be in an amazing environment and to watch some great basketball.
Will we have a Saskatoon team in the final? We'll have to wait and see. We would love to have Saskatoon teams playing on Saturday night. That's always a lot of fun. really makes for a great atmosphere here at Bedford Road.
Absolutely.
But strongly encourage you all to come in and be a part of Brit, because no matter what, it's an awful lot of fun.
Absolutely, it's a great time.
A lot of fun working with you today as well, my friend. Thank you so much, Scott Ferguson. On behalf of Scott and the whole Shaw TV crew, I'm Simon Hyatt. Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for more great Brit coverage.